All children need love, encouragement, and support, and for kids with learning disabilities, such positive reinforcement can help ensure that they emerge with a strong sense of self-worth, confidence, and a determination to keep going even when things are tough. In searching for ways to help children with exceptionalities, remember that you are looking for ways to help them help themselves. Your job as a parent is not to cure the learning disability, but to give your child the social and emotional tools they need to work through challenges. In the long run, facing and overcoming a challenge such as a learning disability can help your child grow stronger and more resilient. Looking in this matter, I wanted to share tips and strategies for new teachers so that they could learn ways to challenge these students in a healthy manner and help them achieve their goals in the long run. Always remember that the way you behave and respond to challenges has a big impact on children. A good attitude won't solve the problems associated with a learning disability, but it can give kids hope and confidence that things can improve and that they will eventually succeed. Welcome to episode 46 of the Teacher Rockstar podcast, a place where tips and strategies critical to the new teacher are discussed. I'm your host, Steve Hiles, and today's episode, we're going to be talking about ways that teachers can challenge children with exceptionalities. Okay, let's dive right in. First, I'm going to be discussing tips and strategies that parents can do to help their child. Okay, number one is keep things in perspective. Remind yourself that everyone faces obstacles. It's up to you as a parent to teach your child how to deal with those obstacles without becoming discouraged or overwhelmed. Don't let the tests, school bureaucracy, and endless paperwork distract you from what's really important, giving your child plenty of emotional and moral support. Become your own expert. Do your own research and keep abreast of new developments in learning disability programs, therapies, and educational techniques. You may be tempted to look to others, teachers, therapists, doctors, for solutions, especially at first, but you're the foremost expert on your child. So take charge when it comes to finding the tools they need in order to learn. The next area would be an advocate for your child. You may have to speak up time and time again to get special help for your child. Embrace your role as a proactive parent and work on your communication skills. It may be frustrating at times, but by remaining calm and reasonable, yet firm, you can make a huge difference for your child. Remember that your influence outweighs all others. Your child will follow your lead. If you approach learning challenges with optimism, hard work, and a sense of humor, your child is likely to embrace your perspective, or at least see the challenges as a speed bump rather than a roadblock. Focus your energy on learning what works for your child and implementing it the best that you can. Focus on strengths, not just weaknesses. Your child is not defined by their learning disability. A learning disability represents one area of weakness, but there are many more areas of strength. Focus on your child's gifts and talents. Your child's life and schedule shouldn't revolve around the learning disability. Nurture the activities where they excel and make plenty of time for them. The next thing would be to recognize exceptionalities. By understanding the different types of learning disorders and their signs, you can pinpoint the specific challenges your child faces and find a treatment program that works. In this age of endless budget cuts and adequately funded schools, your role in your child's education is more important than ever. Don't sit back and let someone else be responsible for providing your child with the tools that they need to learn. You can and should take an active role in your child's education. If there is demonstrated educational need, the school is required by law to develop an individualized education plan. That delivers some educational benefit, but not necessarily one that maximizes student achievement. Parents who want the best for their kids may find this standard frustrating. Understanding special education laws and your school's guidelines for services will help you get the best support for your child at school. Your child may be eligible for many kinds of accommodations and support services, but the school might not provide services unless you ask for them. And now let's pause for a word from our sponsor. How would you like to have a free copy of my Let's Write a Book activity? Now, this resource comes complete with templates and step-by-step directions for easy assembly. Your students will feel so proud to have authored their very own book. All you have to do is go to getstartedontherightfoot.com. That's getstartedontherightfoot.com and submit your info, and we'll get the book right out to you. Your kids are going to love this. Okay, now let's turn and talk about other ways that you can implement to benefit students' learning abilities. I'm going to be sharing 11 of these. Number one, use computer-based programs to hold the interest of students. You can use your own images to personalize lesson plans for students who have specific interests. One standardized platform allows teachers to create effective, customized lesson plans that can be shared with other students and teachers who may share the same interests. The product's preceding stages learning line have been researched and implemented in schools around the world and have proven to be effective learning tools for instructing students. Number two, set the desks in the classroom in rows. Okay, now, rather than using circular seating around large tables, if possible, students with autism need their own space. The student with ADHD is easily distracted, so a seat close to the teacher facing forward works best. Children with special needs are easily distracted, so keep their desks away from the windows, doors, and activity centers in the classroom. Number three, post classroom rules in a conspicuous place in the classroom and review them regularly. Ask students to take turns reading the rules aloud as part of the daily routine. Make sure all students understand the rules of the classroom and the consequences for not adhering to them. It may be helpful to allow the class to help formulate the classroom rules. Number four, use visual aids. Things such as charts, graphs, and pictures. The Stages Learning Line computer program consists of colorful, vivid pictures that are sure to please. Children with autism tend to respond well to technology. Stages Learning Line is very appealing to them and allows them to be interactive while learning. Number five, peers can be wonderful role models for students on the spectrum. Pair compatible children together when working on projects or participating in classroom activities. Many children welcome the opportunity to be a peer role model to the special needs student. The experience is not only positive for the student with autism, but for the peer counselor as well. Point number seven, have a predictable schedule. Very important here. Children with autism tend to prefer predictable routines. Give advance warning if the daily schedule is going to change. If there is going to be a field trip, a special guest in the classroom, or a substitute teacher, try to let the class know in advance. Unexpected changes in the routine can be difficult for the child with autism. Tip number 8, teach social skills. Social skills such as hand raising, taking turns, and sharing is part of the learning curriculum. All students will benefit when reminders are given. Children with autism often engage in self-stimulating behaviors such as hand flapping, rocking, or even slapping themselves in the face. Help the other students in the class understand these behaviors. Tip number 9, provide opportunities to take a break. Read a story, play a short game, stand up and stretch, or have casual conversation. Sometimes an opportunity to get out of his seat and walk around the room can be very calming for the child on the autism spectrum. Try to be aware of the signs that your student may need a short break. Number 10, focus on student strengths. If a child is interested in, let's say, dinosaurs, baseball, dogs, or water sports, he or she needs the opportunity to exhibit expertise in that subject. Stages Learning Line was developed with the personalized lesson plan in mind. Students with autism thrive when they are studying a lesson plan that was formatted specially for them. And tip number 11, be aware of environmental triggers. Loud noises, bright lights, and hot or cold temperatures can disrupt a child's thinking pattern and cause an unnecessary classroom outburst. Be mindful of these environmental triggers and eliminate them whenever possible. Now, here's another quick word from our sponsor. Imagine having access to educational products, instructional videos, teacher podcasts, and articles worth over $1,000 for just pennies a day. Wouldn't that be awesome? And you know what the best part is? You get a free 7-day trial. So really, what do you have to lose? Go check it out. Take a look around. All you simply have to do is go to myteachermembership.com. Yes, that's myteachermembership.com, and I will be adding more products each and every month. You're going to love being part of this teacher membership community. Okay, let's move on here. If you are an individual teacher who is struggling to support diverse learners in your classroom, consult with your school psychologist, special education team, and counseling support staff. These team members are on the forefront of emerging best practices and can consult with you to come up with innovative ways to ensure that kids feel connected, engaged, and supported. Most importantly, though, connect with the parents. Parents are doing the best they can with the tools and skills they have at home under stressful circumstances. When educators partner with parents, especially now when the parent is in the primary source of support during the day, that's where the real change can happen for our kids. This is the new normal for now. The landscape is consistently changing, so we must take measures to adapt in the best way that we can with the tools we have available. While we can't smooth out the ocean of challenges altogether to provide an ideal learning experience in a pandemic, we can figure out ways to ride out the waves together so we are providing the best educational experience for our students as we possibly can. The only way we will get through this is together. Well, this brings us to the end of this episode. I want to thank you for listening to the Teacher Rockstar podcast. I'm your host, Steve Hiles. We hope you've enjoyed listening to these tips and strategies regarding ways that teachers can challenge children with exceptionalities. When you get a moment, visit my blog and subscribe to my newsletter for the latest educational research, best practices, and unadvertised free bonuses. All you simply have to do is go to stevesclassroomresources.blogspot.com. And don't forget to subscribe to us at the Teacher Rockstar Podcast. And if you'd like to support us, please feel free to share our podcast with others. Post about it on social media or leave a rating and review. That would definitely be appreciated. Thanks again, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. And remember, my friend, you got this.